So welcome, and welcome. What's tonight? What's tonight? Absolutely. And welcome to we're Ustreaming this right around the world. So welcome to our clients in New Zealand. Welcome to you in Canberra, to Perth. And I know some people in Cairns are watching this, in Melbourne. So welcome to you all there in Sydney, of course, and the whole of Australia, in fact, the world. Welcome to you all. And that's a communication itself. Let's give our dancers a big clap for their great dancing, eh? And you guys, spectacular. So, who's a good writer? Who can write things on the board? How about Alberta? We might get you. Who else would like to write with Alberta? We need one more person. Could get a book out of this. Nobody. Okay, one. Can you do a quick? Yep. Need someone just real quick. Just want to get some words up on the thing. Okay, Mona, go. So, what is communication? Let's get some words up here. What's communication? Being open. Someone said that. Being honest. Well done. What else?
Verbal.
What's that? Verbal. Yes. You've been verbaled. That's a police term. Yes. Send a message. Sharing something. Yep. Understanding. Wow, that's very clever, Michael. Understanding. What else? Listening. Okay. So, communication is listening. All right. Good. Transfer of knowledge. Well done. Yep. What else? Being clear. Yes, like being understood. Like, men, you try and tell them something and they don't get it. It's just not into you. Absolutely being clear. Click. Being valued. And like it's almost honoured, isn't it? Being valued. Yes. Good. What else? That's all correct. Instruction. You're passing on instructions. What else? Direction. Yeah, it gives direction and can give you direction. Uniting people. Yeah. And could it be respectful? Respectful. If you have respectful communication, could that be helpful? Support. Well done. Exchange of information. I think we've got something like that, but let's get it up there again. Certainly it's an exchange. Is it important? Can I tell you, it's the most valuable thing we actually do, communicate. The most valuable. In fact, this particular session on iCan is probably one of the most valuable sessions we actually do. You are your communication. You are the sum total of your communications. That's how important it is. Anything else? You're going to take a layer of clothing off? Oh, excuse me, hello. Okay. Okay, they're going to communicate that. That's very good. And you are going to come back with some on. Good. Just want to get that clear too. Very important as well. That's a very important communication. Okay, I'm going to take a layer of clothes off. I just want to communicate that. When a woman says that, that's always interesting, I find. I don't know. If a man said it, really, who cares? But there you go. Okay, what else? Lots of words up there, isn't there? Okay, let's give these guys a big clap. Thanks a lot. Well done. And what I'd like to do, Alberta, if we can do our little questionnaire, we'd like to do our questionnaire straight away. Because we're going to get that. That's the one at the back. If you can hand that out ASAP. This is a little true or false thing, okay? It's real simple. And you get about 30 seconds, so it's not long. So you have to be very quick. Read the thing and bang, get it done. So turn it over so you're not looking. Turn it back upside down. That's good. No speed reading here. And we'll see what you know. Who thinks they're a good communicator, by the way? One person. Oh no, there's 4 of you. Okay, who's not a good communicator? Okay, who doesn't put their hand up no matter which question I ask? Who did I not communicate that well enough? Or so you had a choice, you either were or you weren't. So we'll have it again. Who thinks they're a good communicator? Who thinks they're not a good communicator? Who's a bit like that? Okay, good. All right, so it's pretty important. Now, on this little questionnaire, there's just how many questions are there, Alberta? I think there's 10. And we're talking seconds for each one. So we're talking like 3 seconds for each one. That's like 30 seconds. And you're going to answer it true or false. Very simple. Get ready. 1, 2, go. And those of you watching this, you should have got this in the mail, and you can actually do this as well if you wish. We'll go online. First one is communications exchange between ideas between people, the purpose of which is to elicit action, true or false. Communication involves the exchange of feelings as well as ideas, true or false. Empathy is the ability to appreciate another's point of view and completely agree, true or false. You cannot relate properly to others until you know how to relate to yourself, true or false. In communication, words serve to give all listeners exactly the same picture, true or false. Best way to discover what another's interests are is to ask what person's closest associates are. About the only reason anyone does not listen it's an interesting one, isn't it? Is that their hearing is faulty. About the only reason anyone does not listen, and just take the will out, is their hearing is faulty. Most of our goals can be reached more easily if you interpretational relationships with people are based on clear and accurate communications. And the one way to remember what people say is to anticipate what they say next, true or false. And that's Jane speaking that low Shuri's amount. We listen only about half as much at the time as we're spending talking, true or false. Okay, so let's add up your truths, let's add up your falses, and see what we get. Okay, so how many truths did you get, Madeline? 5. How many falses then? 5. How's that for communication? What do you got, Tony? 6. Okay, and what do you got, Mary? 6 and 4. And what about you, Gentine? 7. So you've got a different number. Who's got more than 7 on one of those? Look at this. Oh. Okay, let's go through them. So, communication is exchange of ideas between people. The purpose of which is to elicit action. Who's got true for that? Who's got false? Nobody. Okay, so that's good. We're all agreeing. Give yourselves a big tick. Communication involves the exchange of feelings as well as ideas. Who's got true? Who's got false? Okay, so that's an important thing to notice. That it is, in fact, how much feelings are involved in communication? What percentage of words take care of communication, do you think? Of the 100%? 7%. The tonality and the feeling behind it can be more than 50%. If I say, I want you outside, Madeline? I want you outside. 2. I want you outside. Is there a difference? Is there a difference in that? Same words. So, feelings can be expressed in the tonality and the way you say it. Okay. 3. Empathy is the ability to appreciate another's point of view and completely agree. Who's got true on that? Okay. So we've got a bit of an issue here. Who's got false? Do you have to agree with everything? And what does empathy mean? Understanding. Yeah. So you can understand someone, you might not agree with them, but you can understand them. Are you going to agree on everything? And not necessarily. Can you understand everybody if you choose? Can you understand where they're coming from if you choose? Of course. So very, very important distinction. You cannot relate properly to others until you know how to relate to yourself. Who's got true on that? Who's got false? So most of you are clear on that. Not all hands went up on that, but that's okay. That's correct. That's absolutely true. You must be able to relate to yourself. You must understand yourself. In fact, your communication is a reflection of your own understanding. So very, very important. Number 5, in communication, words serve to give all listeners exactly the same picture. Is that true? No, in fact, it's very, very rarely. And we're going to see that difference in a second. In fact, we want you to, well, you can do it on this page, it's all right. The best way to discover what another's interests are is to ask that person's closest associates. False. Exactly. Because they'll have all different. How many times you've seen a person, they'll see an accident from a different perspective and they won't agree on what happened. You know, they'll even get the colour of the car wrong and who was driving and a whole range of things. Well, police can't really follow what's going on. Witnesses are not very accurate. Number 7, about the only reason anyone does not listen is that the hearing is faulty. So we just got to change that will part out of there. So if you can fix that for us, put a big circle around that. Number 7, you'll see the error. Thanks. So, is their hearing faulty? Yeah. So, who is the most important? What's the most important part in communication? Is it hearing or listening? Is it listening or speaking? What do you think? Speaking? Listening. Well, I'm going to suggest to you that's the most correct answer, but the real correct answer is who's ever doing what. If you're speaking, then the most important thing is to speak accurately and clearly, and it's your responsibility to communicate that. If you're listening, your responsibility is to listen, because you are at cause in the whole game of communication, as opposed to blaming them for not listening, or blaming them for not explaining it properly. And one of the tricks to this whole thing or strategy is someone says something to you, if you're not clear, repeat it back to them. Is that what you mean? We're going to have a look at some miscommunication in a minute. This is Abbott and Lou Costello's famous, did you know that one? Who's on first, what's on second, and I don't know's on third. You know that one? Who's seen that? It was done in the 1940s, and I'm going to show it to you. It's just so funny. He's trying to explain who the people are on each one. And the name of the person is who's on first, what's on second, and I don't know's on third base. So you see how Abbott's trying to explain that to Lou. But listen very carefully. Most of our goals can be reached more easily if your interpersonal relationships with people are based on clear and accurate communication. That's a very interesting one. So, most of our goals can be reached more easily if your interpersonal relationships with people are based on clear and accurate communication. Who's got true on that? That's absolutely true. In fact, you are your communication, and if you're not clear and accurate, then the karma of that will get you. Number 9, one way to remember what people are saying is to anticipate what they're going to say next. This is only women do that. Roy, it's not true. That's what men do, don't they? Because they're on a different planet. Very, very listen. Very, very present. Number 10, we listen about half as much as the time as we spend talking. We're born with 2 ears, 1 mouth, twice the listening capacity, half the speaking capacity, and what we tend to do is do exactly the opposite. Okay, so that's a bit of an indication as where you are in understanding the subject, and no judgment, just what is. Let's have a look at Lou and Abbott. This film, I think, was made in the 1940s. It's a black and white. The sound quality is a bit how you're going, so just go with it. But I want you to really try and listen carefully to what's going on and to see what's being communicated here. Just what is actually happening and how does it show up. Just check it out and see how that looks.
How do you like my wall club, Lou? Hey, all those people going to be at the game today?
Certainly.
Oh, this is going to be a whopper of a game.
Well, it should be.
Yeah, but I understand they made you the manager of this here baseball team.
Why not?
So you're the manager?
I'm the manager.
Well, you know, I'd like to know some of the guys' names on the team, so when I meet them on the street or in the ballpark, I'll be able to say hello to those people.
Why, sure, I'll introduce you to the boys. They give them funny names, though, Lou.
Oh, I know they get those ball players off for funny
Now,
names.
let's see, on the team we have who's on first, what's on second, I don't know who's on third.
You the manager?
Yes.
You know the guy's name?
I should.
Well, then tell me the guy's name.
I say who's on first, what's on second, I don't know who's on third.
You the manager?
And then yes.
You know the guy's name?
I'm telling you that name.
Well, who's on first?
Yes.
Well, go ahead and tell me.
Who?
The guy on first.
Who?
The guy playing first base.
Who?
The guy on first.
Who is on first?
What are you asking me for? I'm asking you.
I'm not asking you, I'm telling you.
You ain't telling me nothing. I'm asking you who's on first.
That's it.
Well, go ahead and tell me.
Who?
The guy on first base.
That's his name.
That's whose name?
Yes.
Well, go ahead and tell me.
That's the man's name.
That's whose name?
Yes.
Well, go ahead and tell me.
Who is on first?
What are you asking me for? I'm asking you who's on first.
That's it.
Well, go ahead and tell me. Who? The guy on first.
That's it.
What's the guy's name on first?
Now, what's on second?
I'm not asking you who's on second.
Who's on first?
That's what I'm asking you. you who's on first.
Don't change the
I'm not changing nobody. I asked you a simple question. What's the guy's name on first base?
What's the guy's name on second?
I'm not asking you who's on second.
Who is on first?
I don't know.
He's on third. Now, we're not talking about him.
Look, you got a first baseman?
Yes.
Then tell me the fella's name playing first.
Who?
The guy playing first.
That's his name.
Wait, what's the guy's name on first base?
Why is the guy's name on second base?
Who's playing second?
Who's playing first?
I don't know.
He's on third base. What's the matter with you? Can't you
Look, when you pay off the first baseman every month, who do you pay the money to?
every dollar?
Yeah. Look, you got to pay the money to somebody on first base, are you? Does he give you a receipt?
Sure.
How does he sign the receipt?
Who?
The guy you give the money to. Who? The guy you give the money to.
That's how he signed it.
That's how who signs it?
Yes.
Well, go ahead and tell me.
That's it.
That's who?
Yeah.
When you give the guy the money, don't he have to sign the receipt?
He does.
Well, how does he sign his name?
Who?
The guy you give the... You dope. You just don't give money to somebody without him giving you a receipt.
Now, who signs it?
What are you asking me for?
I'm telling you.
Well, go ahead, tell me. What's the guy's name that signs the receipt on first
Wait
base?
a minute. What signs his own receipt?
Who signs his own
No,
receipt?
who signs his?
Well, I'm asking you, when the guy on first base gives you a piece of paper,
Yes, now
he
wait.
puts his name on it.
So who puts his name on it? What?
How does the fella's name on first base look to you when he signs his name?
Who?
To you.
That's how he looks.
How does it look to you?
Who?
To you.
Who?
To you.
Who?
When the guy signs his name, how does it look to you?
Look, that's how it looks.
Who? I'm asking you, what's the guy's name on first base to give the money to?
Who? After all, the man's entitled to it.
Who is?
Yes. Sometimes his wife comes down and collects it.
Whose wife?
Yeah, sure.
All I'm trying to find out is what's the guy's name on first base?
One is on second base.
I'm not asking you who's on second.
Who's on first?
I don't know. Third base. I know that. You got an outfield?
Sure.
The left fielder's name.
Why?
I just thought I'd ask you.
Well, I just thought I'd tell you.
The left fielder's name.
Why?
He called.
You know these players as well.
All I'm trying to find out is what's the guy's left name in left field.
Now, what is on second?
I'm not asking you who's on second. I don't know. Third base. You got a pitcher on the team?
Wouldn't this be a fine team without a pitcher?
Pitcher's name.
Tomorrow?
You know what? Tell me the date.
I'm telling you, Lord.
Then go ahead.
Tomorrow.
What time?
What time what?
What time tomorrow you going to tell me who's pitching?
Now, listen. Who is...
I'll break the alarm you say who's on first. I want to know what's the pitcher's name.
What's on second?
I don't know. Third base. You got a catcher?
Sure.
The catcher's name.
Today.
Today. You don't want to tell me today, tomorrow, do you?
I'm telling you.
So the catcher's name.
Today.
Today, and tomorrow's pitching.
Now you've got it.
Now I got it.
You got it. Now.
Well, we got a couple of days on the
Well, I
team.
can't help that.
All right, you know, now I'm a good catcher. Now I get behind a plate, and tomorrow's pitching on my team, and a heavy hitter gets up.
Yes.
Now when he gets up, me being a good catcher, I'm going to throw the guy out at first base. So the guy fronts the ball. I pick up the ball. I'm going to throw the guy out at first base, so I pick up the ball and throw it to who?
Now, that's the first thing you've said right.
I don't even know what I'm talking about.
But that's all you
That's
have.
all I do is throw the ball to first base. Now who's got it? If I throw the ball to first base, somebody's got to get the ball. Now who's got it?
Naturally.
Who?
Naturally.
Naturally? So I pick up the ball and I throw it to Naturally.
No.
He gets the ball. Naturally gets the ball.
You throw the ball to first base.
Then who gets it?
Naturally.
So I pick up the ball and I throw it to Naturally.
No.
Naturally gets the ball. And
You throw the ball to who?
Naturally.
Naturally.
That's what I'm saying.
You're not saying it. Wait.
I said I throw the ball to
No,
Naturally.
you don't.
I throw it to who? That's what I'm saying. I throw the ball to first base. Somebody's got to get
So
it.
who gets it?
Naturally. Okay. Now I ask you, who gets it?
Naturally.
Same as you.
No, it's not.
I throw the ball to Naturally.
Throw the ball to who?
Then who gets it?
Naturally.
He better get it. So I throw the ball to first base.
All right.
Whoever it is drops the ball and the guy runs to second. Now who picks up the ball and throws to what? What throws to I don't know. I don't know. Throws it back to tomorrow. Triple play.
Could be.
And now that guy gets up and hits a long fly ball to be called.
Yes.
Why? I don't know. He's on third, and I don't give a darn.
What do you say?
I said I don't give a darn.
Oh, that's a shortstop.
That is a classic. And sorry about the communication with it. It's a bit hard to hear, but you get a general idea. Two people talk about the same thing, getting a different, complete outcome. So what we're here tonight is if we could increase or improve your communication, your life would change. And I'll just say that again, if we can improve your communication, your life would change. And I'm going to show you the extent that this really affects us. And it does it in so many ways. We have from the very basic things, like all of these things, being honest, respectful, sending messages, being important, listening, being clear, being valued, giving directions. You are your communication support, transfer of knowledge. The transfer of knowledge, it's from one mind in a passageway to another mind. And we tend to do this in pictures. Most of our communication is through pictures. I want you to just close your eyes for a second, and I want you to imagine you're in a beautiful, beautiful room, a beautiful, beautiful theatre, and there's about 700 people, and there's curtains, and the curtains open, and there's a screen, and projected on the screen is a picture of the Taj Mahal. Just take a deep breath in. And then it flashes across, and there's Niagara Falls. And you see the enormous water cascading over. The enormous power and energy that's generated. And then there's the Sydney Opera House. And then there's a picture of a baby just being born. Let's take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, on 3, feel the balls of your feet, and 2, get ready to open your eyes, and 1, I want you to stretch up as high as you can, a big, big, big moment, and go, oh yeah. Who saw all that? Who felt all that? Heard all that? Now, there was no theatre, there was no Niagara Falls, there was no Taj Mahal, there was no Sydney Opera House, but that was all communicated with 100 trillion cells that built images and pictures and created even a baby being born and what you saw and felt. So you are this massive instrument that picks up information. You actually are like a radio, a television beacon, if you like. It's just taking in so much information. In fact, of 100 trillion cells, your brain cells and your mind, which is in every cell of your body, is vibrating at a specific rate. In fact, you are a whole lot of vibrations. In fact, all communication is vibration. In fact, you can come into a room and you can pick up on the energy of someone who hasn't even said anything. Who knows when they've gone in, the room is cold. Some of you men will do that when you come home and you see your wife. You okay? Yes, thank you. Now, can sometimes our communication be interesting and non-congruent? You sure you're okay, hon? Yes, thanks. Did that happen? And it can go on and you try and they just don't want to. And it's interesting. This is all ahead of you. You'll find all this out in time. And finally, you can't resolve it, so you go to bed and you just lie there shaking kind of thing, and they lie there shaking and you don't speak. No. In fact, if you put your hand over it, it would be frostbite by the time it got there, so you just don't touch anyone, so you just lie there and pretend to go to sleep. Don't say a word, don't even breathe. And finally you fall off asleep. And 2 o'clock in the morning they wake up, let's stop, we've got to talk. And you go, I've got to work to it. Oh, typical. Just when something important like this, and here, that's it, that's it, typical. This never happened with anybody here. This is other people we're talking about. So is that a whole communication in itself, a whole bundle of communication? And what communication is this passage of information that goes across. And being open, sharing, understanding, uniting people, exchanging information. The biggest single thing in this is if you can be respectful with each other. If this is respectful, this communication will really go. And to be a great listener in the communication, we're going to have a little game with this to see how this all works out. Is there a difference in communication when we have hares, owls, tortoises and squirrels? How different is it? When hares talk, they talk like this. They're in a hurry. Let's get this thing going here. We've got to, and they're usually visual as well. Can you see it? Can you see what I'm doing? Can you see what? Can you visualize what we're talking about here? Can you imagine how good this is? This is a hare talking. Where a tortoise would tend to sort of talk like this. Do you know what I'm saying? And if a tortoise marries a hare, it's really interesting when they have conversation. And when a squirrel is there, that's another thing. And look, you're just not worrying enough. I've got to worry for you and me. We're all worrying, and you're not even caring. You're not even worrying at all. I worry twice as much because you. And owls, they go, who? What? They don't move their feathers much. They just hardly move at all. Ancient wisdom. So, if you're communicating with someone and you're doing a real estate transaction, is it important to know whether they're a tortoise, owl, squirrel, or hare? Because if you're a hare like me and you want to talk really fast, when I come across people, oh, how are you going? And I'm with a tortoise right now. I say, very good, and they have no idea that I'm doing this. They just think, gee, he's just like me. And when I'm talking to squirrels, I say, gee, it's a worry, isn't it? Oh, you've got no idea. I said, what we need is certainty. I know, I've told my husband that many times, he just doesn't understand. And the government, they don't know what they don't, they have no idea. And the interest rate, they could go anywhere. That's right, I've told him. Can you hear this communication? You might think, well, gee, Roy, does that really happen? Yes. If you want to relate, because all communication is connection. Now, is it important with mums and dads and children? Not only mums and dads, but with their little kids. And from time to time, you might not get hurt. Do you notice that? Because you're little. But maybe you make more noise. Maybe you have more content for this and more opinion. Like, they might say, we're going to go overseas, we're going to do, oh, are you? Or it might be, well, you might get, well, which film are we going to watch? Well, I want to watch, and guess what? Your communication might be the strongest. Because they may want you to watch that. What are we going to eat? Kentucky Fried. Or something else. You could win on that. You never know. You're like in the big city. Not very often. In the end of the day, these kids will love their parents based on their communication. Despite how much their parents love them, it's how were they communicated to, how were they listened to. And this is general discussion, general sort of, do females listen better than men? General, who thinks females listen better than men? Absolutely. And why is that? Because feelings, they listen with their heart. Men listen with their head. And of course there's usually no one there. Because they're soldiers looking who's going to attack them next, and they're out there, they're soldiers that are, yes, I'm onto it, they're reading the paper, I'm onto it. And women can do multitask, they can be onto it, doing this, picking up the stroller, tipping something here and looking at the clock and making sure that the dinner doesn't boil. So there's a skill in communication that is quite apparent, in this area of all of the different skills, from masculine and feminine to hares and owls and tortoises and squirrels. Okay, so we just need a couple of microphones here. And who were the speakers? Who stand up? And how did you go? Very good. But you're great communicators, yes? Very interesting story. Was very powerful for you. Very important, right? Just get a microphone. Let's talk about what happened here and then find out what happened for you. Yeah. What was your story with that? Tell me the story. What was it about? Your sisters. Very important. Just microphone up here. Yeah. So, how'd you go? You covered it all?
It was hard when I knew she wasn't listening.
She wasn't listening?
And I was crying.
That's even worse.
I know.
Okay. So, what happened?
Now?
Yeah, how did you feel about that?
Oh, disappointed that she wouldn't listen.
Really? Okay, that's interesting. Okay. Who else? How did you go, young man? Were you telling your story about? What was that? Just briefly.
Just about going to India.
India. How did you go with your communication?
It was alright, a little bit hard.
A bit hard?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Why was it hard?
Because they weren't looking at you and couldn't communicate properly.
Good, okay. And what happened later?
It was a lot easier because they were like engaging.
Later?
Yes.
Was that different?
Yes.
How'd that feel?
A lot easier.
Mm-hmm. Good. And what was yours about, Jane?
Oh, well, I got right to the critical point and then I said, I'm not telling you anymore because you're not listening.
She was going to take her story elsewhere. That'll teach you. Right at the critical point. This is the one that usually slams them. This is the one they usually sew on their thing. And I'm not even going to tell you. Look at that. Okay, and how did you get, Paul?
Oh, it was just really tough, and it just seemed to take too much energy to try and just communicate the same thing that I would have been able to communicate quite easily if the person actually cared.
She's a woman, doesn't even care. So let's pass it over here. And what was it like for you to be the listener?
It was really hard because I'm a person that would have a lot of eye contact. So for me, it was hard not to do that for him. I was like, oh. I felt funny.
And you felt not connected?
Yeah, I felt totally disconnected.
Yeah, well,
so I had to move my head a lot to try not to engage in the story.
Okay. And what about Kim? What did you learn, Kim? What did you feel about this?
I found it really hard because I do like to listen and do like to watch people's eyes, and so I just didn't hear anything you said until I actually could watch you. Yeah, but
notice there was a change. That was a signal, and there was a change, and well, you were completely out of the conversation by then. You don't want to know. She actually came back and was really interested. It was too late. She'd blown it. You'd taken your blocks and your story and gone. Packed your bags. It's over. Yes, she did.
I just said to her, I'm not going to tell you anymore. And then she came back.
Ah, we forgot that. We had the little click, that was the reason, but we didn't know what your conversation was. You thought that was the reason that did it. You keep that communication going for you, that's good, okay. All right, and over here, what were you experiencing when you...
Oh, I just felt very rude.
Very rude?
Like, how rude. This lady's crying and I'm just looking everywhere. It was like really terrible. I felt terrible.
Yep. And then the signal came.
And then
Did you know she arrived?
Yeah, I could. She went down and touched my knees.
That was okay. So remember what you're talking to this girl, just touch her knees.
Touch her knees.
That's good. And how did you feel then?
I then felt real compassionate.
That's
really,
good.
Yeah.
Well done. Give yourselves a clap. Well done. Good job. Let's sit down. All right, so what they were told to do was to not be interested and to not to look at you and not to engage you, not to have you not to have you be present. So who's learned something here about this? I'm just curious to learn anything. Does anyone want to share anything that I didn't get a chance to? They want to say something, how they felt? Yes. Shh. You guys want to talk now?
I want to say that I found it really hard because this young man that I was sharing with, it was difficult for him to share anyway, and he was telling his story, and I just was not there. I couldn't be there. And so I felt torn between wanting to be there and not being able to. And then when I came back, I was quite relieved, and suddenly he started to flow as well, which was neat. But yeah, it's very hard, very, very hard, because I just like that connection.
Exactly. You know, we all yearn. Let's give these guys a big clap, and you take the microphone, that'll be good. I'll take it quick. We all yearn for connection. Connection's everything. We're yearning to be connected. In fact, all communication is a communication for love. There is no other form of communication. Either to get love or to give love. That's all we're actually doing. We want to connect, and we want to either give love or receive it. And that's how we do it. Now, it might not look like that sometimes when they slam the door in your face. It's that they're communicating, you're not loving me properly. Does that make sense? And in the withdrawal of love in that communication, which is a very dangerous thing, because that's a weapon that's often used, and females use that weapon. It's a very dangerous weapon. Men do it as well, but females are more destructive with it than males, because they're usually at the knife edge of that, because it's their greatest gift that they give, their love and their presence. And that is such a huge, huge weapon of mass destruction, far greater than anything that you'll ever see in plutonium or anything else. Okay, so if that's the truth for you, then this is very important. And what we're going to be doing in this program on communication is to say, where is this going to be effective in our life? Obviously in relationships with children, with relationships with our parents, relationships with our loved ones, relationships with our people we work with. We're in communication all the time, on the phone. And not only have we got hares and owls and tortoises and squirrels, we've also got VACs. Visuals, auditory, and kinesthetics. Now, they talk, and we've already spoken a bit about this, they speak in terms of visual, speaks in terms, can you see what I'm saying? Can you just look at the colours, look at the colours, look how beautiful this is. Look at the scene of this. Whereas when you talk to a kinesthetic, how does it make you feel? And if you're talking to a visual and you're talking like that, what do you mean how does it feel? I can see this. They have a different. When you talk to an auditory, can you hear me? You listening to this? How's this sound? Does this sound right for you? If you're talking that way to a visual, they go, what do you mean how's this sound? I can't see what you're saying at all. Now, when you get that, you'll change your communication. And if you want a man to be into you, find out what he is. And men, if you want a woman to be into you, find out what she is. And if you want to do a real estate transaction, and you're talking to a vendor, or you're talking to a purchaser, or you're talking to an agent, find out who they are. Who thinks this could be important? I'm just curious. It's everything. You'll see when I communicate, and if we do a meditation or something, I'll always say, see what you want to see, feel what you want to feel, hear what you need to hear. I'm talking to all of you. The visual's only hearing the first part of it, not even hearing the other parts. The auditories are hearing the bits they want to hear, and the kinesthetics are feeling that. So when I'm sending messages out, I'm covering a pile of things, and I speak fast and slow, and I talk about debt for the squirrels, and I talk about the wisdom of the plan for the owls, and I deal with also hairy squirrels as well as tortoise owls. And so in my communication, I'm trying to cover as many bases as I can in that communication, because when you've got an audience, the audience is full of every different type. And there's another thing about this area that, if you can see the skill of this and how you leverage your life here, is just to see how people rate words. I'm going to give you 3 words, and you're going to get a very quick chance to write down, and there's a prize. Our book of the month will be the one who's got the most. words that mean something. I'm going to say a word, like I might say flower or something, and you've got to write how many words that you can think of that relate to the word flower, okay? So I'm going to say another word, I'm going to see how many you can relate to that. You've got to go real quick. I'm only going to give you like 15 seconds for each one. So have your pages ready, and the one with the most is going to get the book of the month here as a prize, and it's a great book. It's the book on the 7 special techniques on business management, how to run it. Very, very simple book. One of our very successful graduates wrote that book, and he produced something in the order of, he opened a franchise business and made himself $250,000 out of that, and then sold another one for $100,000. Very, very simple technique. All right, so the first word is blue. Blue. Got as many words as you can think of that relate to blue. 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 That's great. Stop that. The next word is money. 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 And those people at home write these words down as quick as you can. Money. Money. The next word is sex. 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 Six. Okay, stop, pens down. Add up all your words. Just add the whole lot up. What do you got? 18. Who's got more than 18? Who's got, what do you got? Who's got more than 20? What do you got? 27. Woohoo! Who's got more than 27? 29. Who's got more than 29? Woohoo! Give her a big hand. Do you pronounce it Rashid? 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 How do you pronounce your name? Rasha. 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 Beautiful name. Beautiful name. Now, I don't know whether you'd be interested in a business book. Yes? Okay. I'll tell you what, whatever happens, any book at the front. Any book you want. But that's the book there, the business one. But if you don't like that book, you can pick any other book, okay? Congratulations. Get a microphone here. You're going to hear these words that she's got. And I want you to see if there's any words you've got that are the same. Rattle them off.
Sky, ocean, wave, tear, fresh, sea, lake, bubble, eyes, elephant, and I'm going to read the last one.
Elephant for blue.
Car? Yeah, I think it's like car.
That's really good. I like the elephant for blue. Okay, next word, money.
Wealth, paper, mint, dollars, finance, happiness, poverty, green, sense, success, freedom, and status.
Wow. And the last one, sex.
Gender, relationships, fertile, teens, fertility, and contraception.
Teen contraception. She knows where she's going. Okay. Now what I want you to do is look at your own words and talk to your buddy and see how many words that you and your buddy have the same word for any of them. Okay? Just check it out. And those of you watching this, check it out and see if you've got someone there that you did the same thing. Okay, give yourselves a clap and thank you, buddies. Well done. Okay, so who learned something there about that? Who found that there wasn't very many words the same as your partner? And what does that say? We're different. What's different? Everything. We hear differently. We process differently. In fact, your idea of one word for them could be a completely different word. If I say if I use the word wog, you say, you got the wog? You are a wog? Golly wog? Like there's all different wogs, isn't there? Who? What? On second? I don't know, it's on third. So even the way we say things and how we say things and even the meaning that's behind the word, we can have a different word. So we might be saying, money to me is, such and such and such, and you go, money, and you go, oh, money, oh. If you look on your list, check how many negative words you have. And now, this beautiful young lady only had one negative word on money. She had poverty. Remember that? Every other word was positive except that one word. But some of you might have money, greed, horrible, distasteful. You'll find if you go at 95% land, you'll find a lot of that. Not enough, empty, running out, too much month, credit card, debt. Depends what you see and hear and feel. Check how many negative words you've got about any of those things. There you go. Do you want to start? You see that communication? I've got none, her. And then I go with a bullet, you want a star? Can you see? Then she responds, yes, thank you. Can you hear all how that communication is? Yeah. Exactly. And can you hear, I've got none, so what's behind that? Aren't I good? Please love me. Aren't I clever? I'm proud. Oh, proud is not love. Of course I'm proud. Isn't it to get love, give love? When your partner says, I love you, there's a delay. And they say, really? Like there's a delay, you better say, I love you back real quick. Remember that? That's part of the deal, isn't it? Is it? Yes. I love you. I love you too. You don't love me as much. Yes, I do. I love carrots. You love broccoli. I know. I'm in love. So all of this stuff is all about a special FM station. I don't know if you know the FM station that we're all listening to. You all got the FM station? FM? What does FM stand for? It does. But in wireless, what is it? Frequency modulation. Well, the FM station is a specific one, WII-FM, or W111 FM. What's in it for me? Humans, from their ego, are always listening from what's in it for me. If I said, would you like to come to the office tomorrow at 9 o'clock? No. There is $1 million waiting in small unmarked bills for you. Right. Can you see what's in it for me could change that? You might have a lot of different stories about why you can't come to the office at 9 o'clock until that one thing happens. And even how you relate to the communication. If I said there's been an accident outside and the car's being smashed, it's interesting. I come and tell you the registration and it's your car. What? Does it change the smashed car? Very interested now. So our communication can change very quickly just on our involvement, the personality in that. Now this wouldn't apply to anyone here, but to other people in an office situation when you're being disrespected or not listened to. That wouldn't happen, no. And she goes, and walks away. Or you walk in the room and they stop speaking. Or you hear this one, and you know what she said, you know who she's sleeping with, and off it goes. Like it just goes on and on and on and on. Why are soapies so popular? All that psychobabble of communication of other people's lives. So, who can get angry from time to time? Anyone here who's got that ability to get angry? You get the ability to get angry? Really get angry? Really get cranky? Could you think of a really cranky thing? Something really bad. What's the thing that really pisses you off? That really gets you cranky? Like you've got a boyfriend who just doesn't turn up, or gets forgetful, or what would be getting you really angry? And they can't understand. And you can't understand what the hell they're saying. That really goes cool. And you're the only worker. So they're having a conversation. You're going, I have no idea what's going on. Okay. And what else gets you angry? You know what gets angry. What you get the microphone down here. Thank you. Yep. This could get another book here, I can tell.
If you use her blow dry and you don't turn the nozzle just around just that few centimetres.
Yeah.
Mum, have you been using my blow dryer?
Yeah. My blow dryer. Mine. And does he go berserk and then won't talk to you and slam a few things? No. See the look on that one? You tell him I'm a slammer, I'll take your head off.
We drive down in her car today, so
Yeah. Okay. Sounds like a moderate anger, not too. Does she really get cranky? Can she hold crankiness for a while?
Yep.
Yep, she can hold it? Like for a good hour? You know, like if you want to talk to you? At
maybe
least?
a day.
Okay. All right, going to earn a book here, real quick. Come up here. Leave your piece of paper. All right, come up here. Let's give her a big hand. Now, I want you to get into state. What means state means be just really angry, you know, like I've taken your blow dryer and I've given it to another girl. Oh, and it's come back with all makeup over it and crap, you know, and it's rattling and, you know, this is your only and you're going to go out tonight and you need to get your hair right. You know, this is a very important date. And I brought it back, there's your blow dryer. And you've got to give it to me with a ton of bricks, okay? Now you've got to be really angry for like a long time, okay? And I don't want you to stop being angry, okay? You got under any...
I know what you're going to do.
What am I going to do?
You're going to say, I'll get you a new one, but I'll fix it. I'll make it up to you.
No, I won't. Trust me. No, I won't. I won't. Why would you think I'm going to say that? Oh. Because that'll only get you more angry, won't it? Because you can't fix it. You've got to go out tonight, remember? Tonight. Okay. So are you ready? Get in there. Give her a big hand. And look at me. Look at me. And this is the blow dryer. Ah, yeah, look. Yeah, just...
What have you done?
Just mucked it up a bit.
You need to buy me a new one. That is broken, and I have to go out tonight.
You know you're right.
No, seriously.
Absolutely right.
No, it's not alright. I need it tonight.
No, I know.
The shops are closed.
I know.
I can't get another one tonight.
That's true.
No,
That's
seriously.
true. Yeah.
You've done this to me before.
I know. It's
you
not
do it all the time. It's not okay.
I know it's not.
I do
will.
not want that. I want a new one.
Absolutely.
It's not okay.
I know it's not.
Well, why do you keep doing it?
I'm sorry. It's so bad. I keep making it up, don't I?
It's not an excuse. You do it every time.
Every time.
Every time I lend you something.
I can't be trusted.
You can't. No. And I'm not giving you anything else again.
Never. I wouldn't. This is as angry as you can get.
No.
Come on. Come on. Give it to me. Oh.
It costs $120 and you're just going to go around and treat it like it's a $2 toy.
Exactly. That's just not right. It's not fair. What's happening here?
There's an audience. And you're not my sister.
Give her a big hand. She does such a good job. Now stay with me here a second. What happened then? You were really trying to get it. Did she start good? Was she angry? Oh, she was like going to take my head off. I thought that's like Hollywood movie star kind of stuff. She was, and you can't, and you got to buy me a new one. You can't, and that's not. No, don't apologise. That was fantastic. You did so well. So what happened? You couldn't keep that anger up. Oh, what happened? Tell me what happened. What were you feeling? First, you started off really angry. Well,
when you started to compromise, and then
compromise.
You weren't fighting back. I had nothing to fight with.
Exactly.
Nothing to fight.
Nothing. So you need something to fight with.
Yeah, I needed you to talk back.
Exactly, and defend my position. Is this a hint, man? Is this a hint? This is
I
called...
think it's more frustrating though if they don't fight back.
Yeah, because you can't have a good fight. Yeah. But, okay, so what was I doing?
You were trying to calm me down.
Was I trying to calm you down? Just agreeing with you. Everything you said was right. Everything. And because I wouldn't disagree with it, you had nowhere else to go. Because you're running out of power, out of push. Can you see? There's just no energy left. So what this is about, she started off, my ego was involved here, but she went, she's got a good spirit, mine, and she's got an ego, and I've got an ego. And what she did, she invoked her ego. Okay? What she was trying to do was evoke mine. But I went to my good spirit. Can you see? And because of that, she had nowhere to go but ultimately come up, and then she started to laugh. Okay? So two good spirits together can have a communication. Two egos is an argument. And her ego is trying to get my ego enrolled.
You weren't going very
I know. And I was completely at fault. I did everything wrong. But the minute I don't defend myself, this is out. Does that make sense? So when you crash your brother, your boyfriend's car, listen, I know. Give her a big hand. Good job. And I want you to pick any book out there. That's great acting. You just whatever you just give her a big hand. It's very good acting. All right. So we want to do one more. You'd be good at this. Yep, she gets. Come on, Miles, have a sister, because you come a long way. You guys come from a long distance, don't you? Not tonight. Are you living close? Okay, let's get a microphone again. Come up here. And what we're going to do is we've got a problem. You know, we've got a problem? Real problem. You know, you get problems. What sort of problems could we have? What's a really bad problem? You know, something goes wrong.
Yeah, I've got no money.
Got no money. That's a big problem.
I can't afford to go there or do that.
Yeah, money's a problem. Yeah, money's a problem. So why don't you come and tell me about this problem, okay? And let's say I'm the problem because I've got your money. Okay. All right? I've got some money, and you need it. Yep. And I'm a problem because you've lent me money before. Remember that? Yep. And I've got your money, and you need some money. Okay? Okay. Right. So why don't you come at me with that problem, all right? So, hi.
Hi, how you going?
Good, Gina.
Good. So what are you doing on the weekend?
I'm just going to cruise.
Yeah. I've got this concert on that I'd love to go to. But
Really?
Yeah, I just...
What sort of concert is, what's the concert?
The concert is Spice Girls.
Spice Girls. Oh, wow, that's fantastic. That's great.
It would be fantastic, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be, yeah. Spice Girls.
Would you like to
I
come?
could see Spice Girls on stage.
Would you like to
No,
come?
I don't like them at all. But I can see it. Mm.
So, you remember that time I was, you needed that money or whatever?
Yeah.
And I said, just pay me back when you're ready.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was about $100. Mm.
Yeah.
That's Spice Girl ticket price.
Well, it is, but I don't want to push you into it because I know that you probably still need the money and all that.
It is a problem, isn't it, that Spice Girls? Because there's only got one.
Because I had to pay for groceries this week, and I have my car loan and everything, so they took up that money that all my friends are going to the Spice Girl concert, and I just...
Spice Girls, yeah.
But no pressure.
No, I understand. No, I don't have
you don't have to pay back, but...
Yeah.
And
it would be good. So how else could we get you there?
Well, you see, that's the thing. I really can't think of anything else.
So you could use your credit card, and maybe we could do it another time. Yeah. Maybe you could get Dad. I understand Dad's got a credit card.
Oh no, I've asked Dad for too much money
so it doesn't look like Spice Girls when it comes to us going, can you? Yeah.
No, but you really don't. You don't want to come along to it?
No, I don't like them at all. But I don't have any money either, so that's the other issue. But it is a problem, don't you think?
It is because they don't come here very
often. It's only the once.
They're here, I know, they're in Australia, and like they're normally I would never pay this much to go see a concert that's good.
Yeah, even if I liked them, it would be good. Yeah. Okay, so that's unfortunate. Yeah, a bit of
But
a problem.
I'll give you my bank details.
Okay, yeah.
Just in case
Something
you
happens.
happen to,
Yeah.
you don't need money for something and
Yeah.
you just want to pay me that bit of money back.
That's good. That's good. Look, thank you so much.
No, that's
That's
okay.
good.
That's okay.
I appreciate
That's
you.
fine. Like, no pressure. Like,
No, I really
it doesn't
appreciate
matter.
you.
It really doesn't matter if I
It's
don't go.
good. Yeah.
But,
Yep.
you know, just.
Nice girls.
Yeah.
The bank.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I really appreciate that. It's very nice of you. You're a lovely person. And
Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't lend money to
I
people
know.
very often
Yeah, I know. I
because,
just appreciate
you know, I only do it to the people I can trust
Exactly.
and I know that we'll pay it back. So.
And it's a problem. So,
problem.
thanks so much. It's very good, and you're very kind. And you're forgiveness.
So are you. So are you.
Forgiveness. It's really good. What a wimp. Let's give her a big hand to stay here. So, what happened? Where was the problem? Where was the problem?
That you were.
Where was the problem?
Here?
Was it? Where was the problem?
That I was expecting money back when I gave it.
But where was the problem?
There.
Exactly.
That I needed to go there.
Exactly. Now, you see that what happened? The difference was if I was there like that, I'd be the problem. You see? But there was the problem. So it was all over there.
But looking at it.
Did you, and you don't even notice it happening. Who can now see that? So it's called deflection of a problem. If I say, what money, what Spice Girls, what, can you see what's going on the problem? And I'm going to go and take all of that and reflect back to you. Yeah. And when we have the problem over there, it's just gone. When you're ready. You know, if you like, whenever. And even the bank's over there too, whatever the bank is. Yeah, wherever that is. Where's the bank? I don't know, somewhere in the cloud. Yeah. And then when she's okay, thank you. Can you see? Great. I'm now, and I'm now Mr. Terrific.
I did say that.
Who hadn't even paid you the money back.
I did say, you're good too.
Yeah, it's good.
But really, I just want my money back.
Exactly, but it's over there. And can you see how you ran a puff?
Yeah.
Yeah, no puff. Wimpish, it was actually, very wimpish.
Yeah, no, I could have got a little violent.
You could have got violent, yeah. No pressure. Now, can you get that there's a communication in what's called language, belief, and physiology? The physiology, which is where we're throwing all that pain and suffering. And you know, in karate or jiu-jitsu or one of those things, you know, they strike a punch. He tries to punch me, and I use her force to throw off balance. Yeah? So I use her power, and they never face each other like that. They just, it's always, isn't it? Very clever energy, because all communication is energy as well. So when you're in any argument, the other thing about the physiology is to be on their side with the problem. And this, I'm on the other side. So when anyone comes and talks to you, just step next to them and look. And you're really worried. Yeah, it's very worrying. Very worrying. Can you see? And people come to you with great stuff, and you can settle very quickly. Children, your wife. Could you imagine that? Take their hairdryer and do things to it, whatever. Okay, who's learning something here? Let's give her a big clap. Good job. Well done. Thank you. And you can pick a nice book too out there. That'd be great. You guys are great actors. Both of you girls. I think models. I think, you know, Hollywood's calling. I think all that. Okay, so let's have you guys have a talk about what you learned there. We'll just have a talk to your buddy. What did you learn? Okay. Thank you, buddies. Give yourselves a clap. Good job. Well done. So I just want to cover this little number here because we all communicate in different ways, and this is the 3 ways that all communication occurs. These 3 ways. Through our language, through our belief systems, and through our physiology. And in our language we do tonality and a lot of other things. All experiences of a human are experienced in this way. And if you want to change the experience or result of someone, just change one of these and it'll change the other. For instance, at our program at Life Magic on the weekend, we demonstrate, you've seen me demonstrate this before, where a person is in a physiology that has it that they're not very sure of themselves. They're applying for a job, you know, and they come in with their resume. Can you see that? That's one physiology. To another person, hi. And it's a different physiology, isn't it? And they interview the person. So, and in that as a language, and in behind that as a belief system. If you change a person's physiology, you'll change their belief and their language. You change their language, you'll change their belief and physiology. If you change their belief, you'll change their language, you'll change their physiology. So any one of them will change the other. But in this one, can you see the belief that's behind it? I'm not good enough. You can see the physiology. You can see the language that's not even present. So when you change, I've never seen a poor person ever stand like this. My view of a poor person is a person like this. I've seen a person who be broke from time to time, but that's never a poor person who stands like that. So to make this work and for you to utilize this material, like tomorrow, tonight, tomorrow at work, whatever, then I want you to think about your physiology, I want you to think about your language, I want you to think about the belief that you have behind who you are in this. I want you to look at, problems. I want you to even engage people who can be cranky or angry and be respectful and listen to them and agree with them. You don't actually give up all your values to agree with someone. It's just that you choose not to have a fight. Often it's your ego that wants to fight, to prove something, to get this winning point at great cost. And if you engage their ego with your ego, you will have an argument. What is more empowering is see if you can take your good spirit part and take their ego up to that and create respectful communication. So you can draw pictures and bring that together. We're going to have a little game. It's going to be very quick. There's a sentence here that we're going to start with you, and you're going to whisper what this sentence. You're going to read it. You're going to do a Chinese whisper as soon as the Chinese whispers are. So it's very quick, and we're going to see the last person, and we'll see what story they tell. This will be very quick. This you've got to say it fairly quickly. Whisper in one ear, pass it on. Whisper in the ear, pass it on. But do it slowly. So you start. Larry, just read that, put your hand on her little head there, just whisper the thing in, and now you've got to get real close to her ear. Okay. Okay, you whisper that to him. Yes, exactly. This will be good. This is a wife to husband. This could be anything. Come on, quick, quick, quick. Now, while this is going on, I'm going to tell you some other stories because it won't take long. It'll take forever. And each one just whispers to the next person. So, I want to just talk a bit about questioning. How powerful are questions in communication? What's that? Asking the right question, yeah. How powerful? Very powerful. How powerful is very? Paramount. The one who asks the questions is in control of the conversation. And the quality of the questions will determine the quality of the outcome. So, when you're communicating using questions are very, very powerful. This is what would be an example of that. If I want to communicate something, like if I want Mona to go and answer the phone, go over this way. And I said to Mona, I can say, go and answer the phone, Mona. She goes, okay, or no, or whatever. I ask some questions. Mona, do you know how to work the switchboard? Are you good at that? How clever are you? Yeah, okay. Could you show me? See what's going on now? She's now going to answer the phone. And I've only done 3 questions, and she's going to prove something. Her ego's already involved. You know? So there's ways of asking, and particularly how you ask, that can really, really be true. And now Mum's correcting him, so. And we'll probably end it with this one here, and then we'll find out what he's got to say. Get a microphone down here. And we'll see what difference it is. And we've had, what's that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You know how gossip goes and how things can change? So if only just, we could have gone all the way. It would have been really interesting to see. We'd be in another country by then. Okay, so what did you just repeat back? What you were going to say here? Shh. Just repeat back what, as if you were going to tell him. No questions?
Let's say that you were trying to work out a plan to make $1 million out of a dollar by using properties, investments, and shares.
We're trying to work out a plan? Just tell, if you're going to tell him, speak it in the microphone and just say exactly what you thought you heard.
I thought I heard, okay, wait.
Patrick.
We're trying to work out a plan to turn $1 million into $1 million. $1 million into $1 into $1 million.
Yep.
By using properties, investments, and shares.
Fantastic. So this is what he said. This is what he said. It went crazy from Terry. Okay, this is what was told here.
Life magic was amazing.
Anyone here life magic at all? I just said, oh, he didn't say that. I said life magic. He told a man. What chance you got there? He's lost that one to start. So life magic got lost here. That was, we're only two That's right. Life magic got lost at this point. So from there on, it's downhill, isn't it? Okay. Start again.
Life magic was amazing. I learnt in detail how to turn $1 into 1 million. I learnt to leverage real estate and work on my business instead of in it. I unlocked a new life. I unlocked a new life magic.
I unlocked a new life magic.
Magic.
Good.
And loved the experience.
And loved the experience. So that went well. And they remember one thing, because, you know, $1 to a million, how could you forget that? The only thing you remembered, actually. So what happens is that as communication comes, people add or take away, in this case, took most of it away. And it was what it was. And we only had a few. In fact, I think we could have stopped here. It was lost from there, right? Exactly. Okay, give these guys a big clap. Good job. So with all communication is always to do with, I'm going to show you a little video here of something, again, about a communication, that little comedy thing about how people are told not to do something and what they do. Communication is all about how someone feels. In fact, it's more about feelings than it is about anything else. And if you can actually come from feelings, and this is hard for men to often get, I'm just re-saying the masculine, because women can have a masculine part to them too. When you come from feelings, you'll always come to good communication. If you come from your heart of hearts, if you listen with your heart, you'll hear it always differently. So the best way of ever communicating is to be able to step into their shoes. And that's what you were experiencing, Mary, when she was telling you, or he was telling you this story, and you wanted to be in his shoes, but you weren't allowed to. And when you were talking, and you know, you were all upset, and she was not even present. In fact, for Jane, I'm not even going to give you the bottom line. That's how non-present you are. You're not even going to get my story. That's how bad I'll withdraw my story. So let's have a look at this communication. If you put this on, that'll be great. And see if you can see what's going on, and we'll debrief this bit as well.
But you know what? If you want to hear something really funny, a really funny story, you should hear what happened to Moss and I when we were so drunk in Amsterdam that Moss lost his glasses. Moss! Moss! Come here. Tell him that story about when we were drunk in Amsterdam.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, it's brilliant. Oh, this is a great story. You're going to love it. I'm just going to get another box of wine.
Well, go on then. All right. Well, one night we were really drunk.
Yeah.
And we were so drunk that we decided to hire prostitutes. But when they arrived at the hotel, we were too scared to do anything, so we brought them to a fair. They were really nice. In the end, they only charged us half, but we did have to pay for all the rides.
Oh, isn't that just the best story? Oh, man.
You told me to never tell that story to anyone.
Well, what are you talking about? That's a brilliant story. And then you nearly walked into the canal. Let's get to that part with the boatman.
Oh. You mean the story where I lost my glasses?
Yes. What story did you think I meant? Boss? What did you say? What did you say?
So all about communication, what you're allowed to say, what you're allowed to say, and how you say it. So these little snippets are just misunderstandings. Are you also told things in confidence? And if you hear that, isn't that interesting? Or you thought it was in confidence, that they did, but you didn't say that, and you thought they thought it was in confidence. You know, and there can be confusion over that. And can it be that you thought you said something? And what did you really say? So all of these things have their impact. And of course, when it doesn't work out the way you want, you withdraw your love. Or take, you know, some ego trip on that. And there's blame and justification. So if we look at all of these aspects, there's a four-step plan I could suggest to you. And if you want to write it down. Number one, tell the truth. Whenever you communicate with the truth, it'll set you free. The truth is every bit that you can ever do. If you don't tell the truth, how bad is the communication ultimately? And how much do you have to tell another story to cover that story, to cover that story? And as bad as it is, if you just tell the truth and face it. Even this story here we had, Madeline, about the hairdryer. I just told the truth. You're right. True. And when you tell, they can only be angry for so long. And in the end, there's no puff left. But the minute I go, oh, you see, well, what happened was broken when I got it. Or, you know, I could go on, and I could even make up things. It just gets worse. And the word here is surrender. When you surrender, there's nothing to go. And the second one is open to allow, which is what surrender is. Number two is open and allow. When you open and allow, you're in a very, very powerful space. Most people think in surrender that you're laying there and people are going to walk all over you. But when you open and allow, you have all the power in the world in your communication. And I'm going to suggest these are the things that you're going to do tomorrow and this week and from now on for the rest of your life in your communication. If you're open and allow, tell the truth. And the third one is be present to listen. I'm talking to the men here. Be present to listen. Be present to the listener. And what that's really about is that you've experienced what it's like not to be present, for someone either be the one is speaking or the one who's not listening. When you're present, and particularly to someone that you love, and particularly your children, particularly your partner, particularly to look, everybody really, boss, someone on the street, when you're present, it is a gift. That's why it's called the present. Most people aren't present. It's probably the single biggest area that they have is their lack of presence. And the fourth one is get them to make a decision. Have an outcome. It's one thing about listening and then just listening and just become psychobabble of gossip and talk. Get them to make a decision. There's a lot of other things about this. And this is something about values in communication. If people are going to talk about people who aren't present, you know that one? You know, that's gossip, isn't it? And the strongest and most courageous thing you can do is be a stand for that and say, look, if we're going to talk about Alice or Bill or John or whatever, he's not present here, so either you tell him or I will, or let him be in this conversation. But don't talk to him. I think this would be very valuable to talk to him or her. Does that make sense to everyone? And that takes a lot of courage, and it may mean they won't come to you anymore with these gossip, which would be very handy because you get on with some other things. But that'll take a courageous stand. Your ego wanting to be liked and accepted may go, oh really, and be part of the problem. Just follow that conversation with me somehow. Now this wouldn't apply to anyone here in the room, I'm just talking about other people. But it would be courageous of you, courageous, and who you would become in this to be able to be that clear and trustworthy and faithful in this, because this is a true friend. If you can keep a truth, if you can keep a confidentiality, if you can honour those that aren't present, then you are remarkable in your communication. And always remember the one you're listening to that's talking the story and doing that communication, she or he will do that about you in time. Does that make sense to everyone? So you don't need friends like this. And I know that's a great judgment in that, but you know, your courageousness of saying, I think this should be said to him. In other words, come out of that conversation. The other thing I just want to mention is a little thing. These guys clean up their room? They're good? What's occasionally? Other two, this one occasionally. And what is he good at? Is he good at soccer? Is he good at, what's he good at? Soccer? Computers? Maths? He's really good. And when he doesn't do his room, let's get a couple of chairs up here for me. When he doesn't do his room, oh, sorry, I've got to use these ones. When he doesn't do his room, what is it he doesn't do about his room? Is it the, I might do this, sorry. Which one? Where do we start? So is it the bed that he doesn't make? Is it the hang your clothes up? Is it that there's toys and junk and stuff lying around? No toys. Books, computers, cables. Sleep on cushions. And have you heard this story before? Many times? And you heard from Dad? Because she gets sick of telling you, so she sends Dad in. Okay? Heard that story. And if I went home tonight, it would be immaculate. And what other things? Your jammies, where's your jammies? Are they under the pillow, under the bed, thrown away? Where are they? In the cupboard? Folded nicely. Jammed in as much as you can. Yeah, use them. You've got to know where they are, and you've got to screw them up, because why fold them? They could smell nice. We've got to keep the smell in them. So, and what else? Tea, a bit of drinks or something left over, left for lunch. Packing the little rats come in, all that starts smelling a bit till the smell gets so bad you've got to throw it out, right? You do a little experiment. Okay. All right. So come up here. Another book. Give them a clap. Okay, so we get a microphone, put that on your chin, okay? Yep. Now, when we go through this little exercise, I just want you to tell me what you feel like afterwards and what happens, okay?
Okay.
Now, you've heard what Mum said about you with this. This is embarrassing.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah. And when you get married, you're going to marry someone just like this, only worse.
Okay.
Worse. You know what I mean? Okay. So your mum's trying to help that you don't get divorced. And you come back and live with her.
Yeah.
Because that's what happens. You get married, you make the mess in the house, you bring the mess back, or she leaves you, and then she's got to look after you for the rest of her life. And she's got other things. They've got trips planned, they've got all sorts of things once you guys go. And you just stop bringing friends home and things like that, okay? So we're going to have a communication here, and I'm doing this with a young boy. And if I was his dad or mum or whatever, doesn't matter, just whatever it is. And I want you just to notice what I did, okay? How do I pronounce your name?
Vivek.
Vivek?
Yeah.
Vivek. That's a great name, Vivek. Great name. And your mother's got a sense of humour to call you that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that meant that you had to explain that to your teacher, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, every time.
Mm.
And some of the guys at school.
Yeah.
There you go. Understand? It's a beautiful name because what it is, it gives you a distinction. Yeah. And that's a distinction, and it's your culture, and you'll value this even more later.
Yeah.
Very, very important. So be proud of that, who you are in this. Now, Vivek, I understand you're very good with soccer.
Yep.
How good?
Relatively good.
Relatively good? You kick some goals? Or you were a defence?
No, somewhere in the middle.
In the middle. So you pass the ball?
Yeah.
So you're a team player?
Yeah.
You let them score?
Yeah.
Good boy, good boy. And computers, you good?
Relatively.
Relatively. Very modest as well.
Mm.
You know, you're obviously very good at lots of things, actually, and your mum's spoken very highly of you. You're very clever, very capable. And you can seem to achieve what you want to achieve when you want to achieve it, yes?
Yeah.
Yeah? When you want it.
Mm.
So, what I notice is that you're good at things when you want to, and you're good at doing pretty well at most things, and there just appears to be something that's I'm confused. Like you don't appear to have chosen to be good with your room.
Yeah.
Huh. You could choose to make that good if you wanted.
Could.
You could. Because you could choose that, couldn't you?
Could.
Because you're very good at things.
But I want to be good at other things.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm sure you're going to. I'm sure that you could be good at many, many more things than that. Okay. So, what would have to happen for you to be good with your room? And when I say your room, I'm talking about just be tidy. I'm not trying to make it like with a pin, you know. Like I'm talking your bed made. I'm talking about tidy. I'm talking about proud, like you are with your computer, your games, or whatever else you're good at. Okay. I'm talking like how good your name is.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine your name being as important as your room, or your room be as important as your name, because the environment that you create is very important for who you are.
Yeah.
Understand that? And you know, you get married later in life, or just have a business or whatever, and you want a good environment to be proud of that. Okay, and to be noticed in that.
Okay.
Okay. So, what would have to happen for you to do that? To have your room. And I'm talking seriously here because I'm thinking about our relationship. I'm talking about because your parents are very important to us.
Yeah.
I'm talking about coming out and seeing your house.
Okay.
I'm talking about having a look at your room.
Okay.
What would have to happen, and I'm serious about this, because your parents are doing lots of stuff that's going to be very impacting on you as they raise their own standards. Because there's only three things you have to do in life. We have to raise our standards, we have to show up, and we have to give back. So when we show up and raise our standards and give back, that's life. You know, it's like honouring ourselves here, honouring that name. So what would have to happen for that to occur?
Have to become worse at something else. To
Worse
become
well,
better.
that's one thing. You could, and you've got a great sense of humour. However, we know that's not absolutely accurate. We know
put more time into it.
A little bit more time, yeah. And it's not that much more time, but it is a little bit. Yeah. And it's about being proud of your environment, yes?
Yeah.
So what would have to happen for that? So we've got one thing, put a little bit of time in, yeah? What else?
Know what I actually have to do.
Yeah, no, be clear.
Yeah.
And could it be a news flash that secretly you already know?
Yes.
Yes, that would be a newsflash. Not really. Yes, we know. Yes. Okay, so we discount that one. So you put a little bit of time in. You'd have to honour yourself. Yeah. Honour your name. Honour who you are. Honour your environment. What else would have to happen?
Have to set the standard.
Set a standard, yeah. A standard that you'd show up for.
Yeah.
Imagine a standard that your room is better than your sister's. Would that be impressive?
Yes.
Yes, because she's fairly neat. She's a woman. A little bit. A little bit better than yours.
Yeah.
Yep. Even your other brother. Imagine being the best. Imagine there was a prize. Imagine next time to India or next time to something, there was a prize for the best room. Interesting. Would that be interesting?
Yes.
Very interesting. What do you think? Could be a good plan?
Yeah.
Like to know more?
Yes.
It's a negotiation with mum and dad.
Okay.
Best room, prize, name, honouring, bit of time. Really simple, yes?
Yeah.
Can be achieved, yes?
Yeah.
Can be achieved.
Yeah.
High five. Good job. And what's good is that you're a very clever young man, very capable indeed. You could put your mind to anything, that's quite obvious, with your soccer, with your computer games, with anything. You're very clever, yes?
Yeah.
You can achieve anything you want.
Okay.
And you could respect yourself in this. Makes sense?
Yeah.
It's really great having this conversation.
Well, this was good.
And when I come out and see your room, what will it look like?
Marvellous.
Thank you so much. You were very good. Okay, so what happened? What did we notice? What happened?
You came down to my level first.
Yeah. Connected with you. Yep. What else?
Honoured me before you decided to
Get
spring
into the
anything
stuff.
on me.
Yeah. And we call this the sandwich. We deal with something called the bread called love. There's stuff in the middle, and we always finish with love. Always deal with the stuff after you've got the establishment. Okay? Always establish the respect. Always establish and finish with that. That way you have a listening. Because the stuff is always the stuff. But if you start with the stuff, no listening. If I start with, your room's terrible, when are you going to clean your room up? Just to switch off. Right? So we always start with connection and always speak from the truth. And you notice I spoke from the truth, things that were true about you. What else did you notice? How did you feel?
Good, I guess, yeah.
Given you giving up one of your bastions of muck up and crap and rubbish. Yeah. But you gave it up generously, you gave it up with great honour.
Yeah.
It's good, you do well. What about someone else? What else did we notice? Okay, another microphone here, that's good. Ramona's got it. Yep.
I also felt that you didn't put words in his mouth. He came to the decision himself.
Yeah.
He made the choice.
Correct. And therefore he owned it.
Exactly, yeah.
There was some guidance, but he owned it. Even though he was trying to get me off course with the one about have to get worse or something else. You know how that was a great try. I was very impressed with that. That was but you're up against me. It's very hard to get that one through the goals there, you know. And that's okay. But it was just a bit of a banter, a bit of fun there. That was good. That was very good. Yeah. So he owned that. Yeah. What else? Anyone else notice anything? Because there's lots of things in this conversation. Yes?
You persuaded him with saying, like, make it a competition between the brothers and sisters.
Yes.
Trying to make it sound more appealing.
We put some weight on the scales. Did you see his eyes light up when India was mentioned or there was a prize? And I said, that's between mum and dad. Got to negotiate here. They even looked there. And it doesn't have to be a big prize. What else? There's a thing called linking in communication. Did you hear the link of honouring? Think of honouring his name, honouring his room. The link of honouring the environment, honouring him, honouring... You see, there's a link. When you link things, they're more powerful than... Because right now he thinks, well, it's just a room, what does it matter? But now he's got, when he walks in, that honours him and his name. So this is me. This is where I live. This is who I am. And I'm raising my standards and I'm showing up and I'm giving back. And I'm not only honouring me, I'm honouring my family. You get that? And that's in the conversation. Hidden in that conversation. What else? Yes? Get a microphone? Just get a microphone. That's good.
Although you didn't exactly say it, but creating a habit, because if he gets used to keeping his room neat and tidy, when he goes to work, he's keep his desk tidy and
Sure. And there's a great skill in how this... You want to say something? You just pass it on. There's another skill here in how Rita talks to him about this, because if she comes back with criticism, as opposed to coming back with love and honouring, without saying, now you remember what Roy said? Roy could be coming any minute. As opposed to, you know, your name and honouring. And does this honour you? You know, with a question. And even in helping together do things, there's a lot of different skills here with young boys, young girls, young people who, how old are you? 15. See, from 11, they're kind of their own person. You know, like you've been gone for 4 years and you've only got minimal control. And these two, well, it's all over the shouting, and she is a problem right there. The boys she's talking to, can you believe it? I mean, hello. You wouldn't let them loose in the car yard by themselves, let alone. So, all of that. And in the end, it's the values that you two have given them that will hold them instead, because I'm only thinking silly about that. You're very good. But you know that value that you have installed, the values that they have of themselves. Okay, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, like, the high five, kind of like congratulating him before the, so it's kind of giving him a
Yeah. So he did that. And, yeah, and then we did it again to lock it in. We did it twice, remember that? So we got the first one, and he's already there, and then the last one we're locking it in now. Yeah. And he had no idea he'd already committed to that at that point, but then we just locked it in, so he now owns it, right? Okay. And how did you feel with me coming out to your place? Do you feel the power of that?
Yeah, moderately scared.
It's called weight on the scales. You know weight on the scales? This is a truck now being put on the scales, right? Yeah. Oh, he's coming. Now, you will be told beforehand, and it'll happen. Yeah. But not for the reason of fear of the Roy's coming, but for the pride of yourself and your own honour. Honouring things. What's the thing that you value mostly at home, or a thing that you have with a computer, or you haven't got a car, but you know, what soccer ball, you know, what do you honour mostly? What do you think are the thing of all of your possessions you have? What would be the most destructive? Like hair dryers is the thing over here, but this one, okay? What, you know, could be a coin, could be like something that's important to you.
Probably my computer. Yeah.
Your computer, okay. And what is it? What's your computer?
Just a Dell.
Dell?
Just
yeah,
average,
okay.
Yeah.
So imagine if you came home tonight and I'd been sick on it. Or just scratched it. Or just dropped it a couple of times. Well, you know, you press on the screen, and pointing to something, just, that? Well, you're not supposed to touch the screen, always that little bit of it. Over there, see that there? Yeah. What if we could link the pride you have with your computer, cleaning it down and making it nice, carefully, to your room?
Yeah.
Value your room like your computer.
Yeah.
So it's a link. Again, that's another thing with stuff when you do that, when you finish. It's good. Anything else? Who thinks this will probably work? We had a guy, his father... You didn't notice that? We had a guy, he couldn't get his son to put the dirt bins out. Could not get his son to get the dirt bins out. I told him this, I said, I'll show you how to get the dirt bins out. He said, I've been doing this for 10 years, he won't put the I've paid him money, I've threatened him, I come home, because I miss it. Once it's, we missed the whole week, and we only got 2 dirt bins, and we got a lot of stuff going out. And that's 4, they won't take it. And he misses it again. It's just like, and I come home, because I come home late on the night, and I have to go out and put the dirt bin, because I went through this exercise. Exactly. And it's in the beginning of what he's good at, and the inconsistency of what he's good at to what is not, that's inconsistent, because I've got him good at things. That's the honouring, good at things. So it's not what he's not good at, it's what he's good at. And I'm confused. You're good at this, 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 and this. I'm confused. Can you see? So we did the thing with I'm confused. You're good at this, this, and this, and the dirt bins. I'm confused. And this worked so well. The father sends me cards, Christmas and stuff. Still the dirt bins are going out, Roy. I cannot believe it. Has not missed a dirt bin since the time I told him that story. His life has changed. And because it was really getting us like a stony shoe, it was really getting him down. Since then, next 5 years, never missed a dirt bin. So that's what I'm looking for. Sounds good? Knowing. So here's my last thing. It's always who have I got to become to have this work for me? That's the question. Who have I got to become to have this work for me? So who have we got to become to make sure our room's clean, tidy, presented? Do you have to do it before we leave, or before we get up, or before we go to bed, or before we leave, or what's the best time to make it work? You know how you come home, you want to come home to it done, but then you work in it, you're doing your homework, take clothes off, various things. Is it best to get it all tidy before you go to bed, or is it best to leave it like that, and when you get up, you do it first thing, or before you go to bed?
First thing in the morning.
Last thing in the morning?
First thing in the morning.
First thing in the morning? Would that work? And would that work best for you? In other words, you're not late catching the bus or train or anything?
Always.
Always, okay. So this would be another one I'll be working with. So how do you get up in the morning? With a great deal of difficulty?
Yes.
Yes. Do you get an alarm clock?
Yes.
Is that your alarm clock?
No.
Which is your alarm clock? The clock goes off?
Phone.
The phone? Yeah. And when it goes off, do you turn it off and go to snooze?
Yes.
Yes. And how many times does it do snooze? I'll introduce to Mona. She can have it go for an hour in snooze. It goes off and 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 off. And it's every 10 minutes. Like, how many times?
Yeah, probably.
The 3 alarm clocks?
I just put all, put as many as I can on my
phone. I'm going to introduce you to Mona. You two would make, you marry her, you will never be on time for anything. You're both there, I'm listening to that, you're listening to that, I'm Okay, so here's the deal. What's going to happen to have this one work? Because this one's going to be big time.
Pick up earlier first.
Yeah, yeah. The deal is you want Big Ben in your room.
Yep.
And you want your clothes and the alarm clock a fair way away from the bed.
Yep.
So you've got to get up to turn it off. Yep. The other deal, that will probably work, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you allow the time, tidy the room, and be on time. Imagine what that would make you feel like. Less stress, could even go to school early and even play some games at school or whatever, who knows, okay?
Yeah.
All right. You want to do this? Really? Okay. You really want to make sure it absolutely works? Absolutely? Absolutely? Look for permission to make it absolutely work? Okay. What time's the best time to get up then? That will work with this?
6:30.
6:30, is that correct? So what time you normally get up? Like 7, 7:30?
8.
8? 6:30. You got to be up that early to make all this work there, true?
No, yeah.
What would really the best time?
6:30. Yeah.
6:30? Okay, so 6:30. Okay, here's the deal. You want to make it work? Absolutely? 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 Okay. You need permission. It's called the 3 times wake up call. Glass of water trick. Now, who is the strongest of you two? I'd say Mum probably, if she was on a mission. But I need you to choose who's going to do this, okay? So, what time do you guys get up? 6:30? Early? Yeah? 5:30, you're up. So, 6:30, you'll hear his alarm clock, the big one. Ring, 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 ring. And you just go by. He's up, it's fine. However, if he's not up, you come in with a jug of water. Hello. You have 3 to get up. 1, 2, 3. Water. Now, when the water comes, do you want to do it? When the water comes, what happens? It gets in your jammies. You know what I mean? It gets in here. You know, it's like there's nowhere to go. You know, like it's in there. You can't even pull the cup. Nothing happens. There's nowhere. So it gets all in, around the head and the jug. Now, the trick is that you've got to give them permission. No matter what you say, you get the jug of water. Okay?
Okay.
But you got 3. If you're up and out of the bed, that's okay. Yeah. No, you can't. What is ready? Look, you can't do that. No, that's not fair. It's got to be slow. 1, 2, 3, and then jug of water, which is on the 4th number. You got the plan? Okay, you into this game?
Yeah.
You give her permission? She'll follow by the rules exactly?
I won't give her permission exclusively. I'll give mom permission. Yeah.
Now the trick is, Mum, will you honour this? Absolutely. Okay. Because if you ever don't do it, he's got you. You know what I mean? So you're going to do this? Can you be trusted? Can she be trusted to do this? Can she be trusted? And you've got to back up just in case. This is called reserve. Okay. So you into this?
Yeah.
What do you think the chances of him getting up at 6:30? Just who thinks he'll probably get up at 6:30? I'm just curious. Yeah. I think there's not much chance. What do you think the chances are?
Pretty high.
Pretty high, yeah. It's called leverage. Okay. And that means then the room will be tidy and everything else. Can you get this as a done deal? Yep. Yeah. And what sounds like the price? He's up at 6:30, he's on time for an hour, and his room's tidy. Name it.
Good, thanks.
I'd go for a car. You know, not a new car, but a car. And I'm saying like 2 years. You've got 2 years to go. So you've got to be on time 2 years.
No idea.
iPad.
You've already got an iPad, doesn't count. Just take yours.
Okay, you work it out.
Yeah, we'll work it out.
Sounds good?
Yep.
Is it a done deal?
Yep.
Woohoo! Give him a big hand. Well done. Thank you, guys. Give him a big hand, guys. Come on. Okay. Now, what's the difference of this? Is that communication can honour somebody and have a complete change and the passage of information, the visualness of that, all of the things that are involved in that. And yet, it's his story. It's his life. He can choose not to. Get wet every day. Who cares? What the hell? Can I tell you this one? Oh, no. It just goes there and it just stays there wet. Oh, it's really good because you've got to make the bed again. All he has to know is that you mean business. That's all. And if he gets back in bed, bang. And there's only one exception. The night before, you explain to her that this is a sleep-in day or something. This is a day we don't... So no water today, Mum. Okay? You understand? And if it's not done, because you're sane then, you're insane in the morning, okay? So that's your one exception. Because there could be days that today I'm sleeping in. Because school's over or I'm having a bit of a day off and whatever. I'm 15, hey, I'm getting big now, man. You know what I mean? Okay, good job. All right, who's learning something here? Who's having some fun? This is important for your children when they come. How you communicate with them. And your parents, because they're children anyway, you understand? Okay, last thing I want to just talk about is anger here. We're finished tonight. Anger. Who's ever been in a conversation, communication, anger shows up? Now I'll tell you the story with anger. Anger is the last opportunity the ego has from keeping away from the truth. It blocks the truth. It thinks it does, to put you off guard. When any time anger shows up, what it's showing up is that you've got the truth, you've caught me out. And like Merlin used to do with waffle dust, it'd all blow up, you know, and he'd hide, just to disappear. When anger shows up, it's to hide. So as soon as anger shows up in a conversation, then it's like a nerve in the tooth. You've hit something close to the truth. So when anyone shows that anger, then you go, interesting. And if it's you, interesting. The other thing I want to show about communication is that we are all projectors. We project things. All communication is communication for love. He, in his old life, not now, but his old life, when he kept his room untidy, he was getting attention. He was getting some love in a way. One way or another, he would get attention. This is not a very healthy way to get attention, but getting attention. If you understand every communication is a communication for love. Even when she flicks her hair or whatever and does the look or whatever, that's a communication. And it's all about finding the space that the ego is trying to find. So all of our anger that we have on others is always a projection on ourselves. And so the question is, what am I fearing about me in this? That's the question to ask. Like, if she's used your blow dryer, or Mum has, what is it about you that has that anger about that? What is it about that? If you go into the place. Yeah, yes, microphone here. Be good. Just get it down. And we're either going to get a story or we're going to get the truth. Be interesting.
Most time, like if Mum doesn't turn the nozzle around.
Yes.
It's usually because I'm running late and I don't want to have to turn the nozzle.
Yeah, can you see how much time that could take? How long? Well, this could be a second. A whole second. You're running late. Boop. It's gone. Missed the bus. I'm running late. So that's one go. Now that's a fact, isn't it? Would you like to know the truth? So what's the truth?
That I was just frustrated at
just
myself.
Frustrated, yes.
And Mum was the easiest one to take it out on.
Take it out on her, yes. And Mum has got nothing to do with this. Nothing to do with it. Never has. Whatever you're angry about with someone has nothing to do with the issue, ever. It's never them. Ever, 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 ever. Ever, 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 ever. That means never. Okay? So third go. Do you want to know the truth?
Yes.
So have another go. Anyone have any idea? So the microphone over here. We just find. No, you hang on to yours. We've got another one. Because
I think she's feeling unloved.
It's always a communication thing. Yeah, this is part of you're not respecting my stuff, and this is my, this is mine. And yes, that's true.
I think it's about feelings.
However, that's not the absolute issue here. Just pass that forward. Do you have any other ideas? None. This is going to be such a shock when you hear this. And you know what? Is this a beautiful young lady here? Is she a beautiful heart and attractive and all that? Can you imagine the drop-dead gorgeous that she is? Can you imagine the stopper of men and the broken hearts and the dead bodies that are already lying there? And they're going to be, and they're all over her. You know, they're there. Right? She has lots of choices here. And yet, this one single thing could make it happiness or misery for the rest of her life. Because this is linked with many, 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 many things. There's nothing wrong, no judgment, nothing right, wrong, or different, just what is. But you'll all hear this story in some way. What do you think?
She's angry and disappointed with herself.
Angry, disappointed with herself?
Because she hasn't made the time and effort for herself to be that 1 second earlier to turn the knob.
Well, that's a good try. And she is angry and frustrated. And it's not about making the time for herself, because she's got plenty of time.
Setting the boundaries.
Setting boundaries. She's a very free, isn't she a very good giving woman, sister? Yes. However, there's something that's specific about her that will determine whether she's happy or not in marriage. In fact, for the rest of her life. In all of it that's based on this hairdryer. Could you imagine? So it's
I need to know.
Nothing to do with the hairdryer, nothing to do with your mum. So pass it back. Mary's got a clue. And you've got sister wants to make a comment here. Okay, go ahead, Mary.
I feel it's about the level of worthiness and how she feels about herself.
Yes, well, that's always about love. Love is always about that. And there's always every communication of love, so worthiness will come in, you're right.
I think it's maybe because she doesn't actually want to go to the place she's going. She's not happy getting ready to go to that certain spot.
No, because it wouldn't matter where it was going. She wanted to go out to the party. Remember, that was the exercise we had here? She wanted to go there. Yep, last one.
Tolerance.
Tolerance, yes. But not really. Last one, last, because we'll be here all night. We've got to go. Who's interested in knowing, by the way? I'm just curious if this is valuable. Because it applies to every one of you in some degree. This one's just big. It's like an elephant in the room. You know when an elephant's in the room and no one's noticing the elephant? And you're having a cup of tea? Would you like some sugar? Yep. And you pass it by the elephant as if the elephant's not there. You know, and like some sugar? Yeah, sure. There's some sugar. And everyone's doing everything. Nice day? Yeah, beautiful day. Everyone's, except the elephant. No one's talking about the elephant. The elephant's, you know, it's doing all this. Pretending the elephant's not there. Because we're just oblivious. Ego doesn't want to know.
Responsibility and ownership.
Well, it is all those things. The word will go so big, it'll just blow your head off. And you won't even hear this word first up. And then your sister will explain it to you later. This word is called control. Take a deep breath in before you die. You understand this word? Yeah, vaguely. Do you hear this word? She's trying to control things.
I'm a big control freak.
Oh, really? Imagine!
I've been away for 3 weeks overseas. It's just been her and Mum. And she told Mum that they should just move out and not live with anyone else because she's quite happy just having Mum and her in the house.
Because her sister's back and she's now taking everything away.
I'm putting stuff here and I've got
stuff. It's not mine, I've got this under
and
control here, and 1 minute. Could you imagine this beautiful, beautiful girl marrying some man? He leaves the toilet seat up. And there's a pubic hair there as well. Could you imagine? Can you imagine the control? Off with his head. So, for you to have happiness and completion and peace of mind, absolute peace and harmony in your life, you've got to give up control. This is going to be a really interesting thing. Could you imagine? Oh, the pain, just getting a headache, just thinking about it. Can you see that that's all
She's going to do something at home just to...
See, that's even... The secret's out. Do you know that everyone on the planet knew that?
And she'll say, Roy just said to just calm down.
Calm down. It's like, is there some control here? That's all. And once you give that up, your marriage will work. Who's following this conversation here? And who can relate to this story? It's only just her, obviously. Who can relate this story in any way? I'm just curious. Have a look around the room so you just know. Everybody. And there are three areas: attachment, control, and the good opinion of others that are the deadly sins for all happiness. Attachment to things like hairdryers. Good opinion of others. What are they thinking of me? They're not even caring. I've only got a minute, I'm going to be late. To control. And that's all communication, an internal communication to yourself, which will bring you happiness and completion, or not. You either have a heaven on earth or misery on earth. Very simple.
Not worth it.
All control is around fear and trying to keep your space because it's not safe. And you're trying to control everybody. And the truth is you can't control anybody. You can only control what goes on in here. The decisions that you and the meaning you put on something. So when you get the thing back and you go, can you believe this? Can you? Can you do? See, that's just a decision. If they come back and break it, here you go. This is now yours. Thank you for the new one. You know, when you don't put up with nonsense. However, you've got to be in a non-controlling way. Particularly when it gets down, I could be a second late. Can you see how insane? And you were trying to convince me that was normal behaviour. You were trying to say
I didn't say it's normal.
That was rational. That was irrational. Completely irrational. Some of you were in Life Magic on the weekend. We had an auction, didn't we, on some money and stuff? Was there any rational behaviour with the people who were in there? Irrational. Most of what we do, and this is a secret, most of what we do is irrational, and then we try and justify it afterwards with stories. Like, they brought it back, and the nozzle wasn't like, hello. This is insane. This is the ego speaking. Okay, who's learning some things? Who's having some fun? Okay. Little quick finish. I've got to tell you quickly. Now, iCan is on, and they'll tell me the next one. They'll look it up and tell me the date and when it's on. We have a boardroom up at Conrad Hilton on Tuesday, the 19th of July. For those people watching this and people here, if you have people that you would like to be in Life Magic with you, or learn this stuff, or have a dream team, and they'd just like to come along, then please have them come, and come yourself if you wish, at the Treasury. Beautiful, beautiful location there on Tuesday the 19th. And we're here in Varsity at the OneLife Conference Centre on Wednesday the 20th of July. So there's two dates, and they're obviously on our site. Life Magic, we just did, Jane, where's the microphone for you? Who else was in Life Magic? Kim, we'll get you too. Tell these guys what was good about Life Magic for you. What did you enjoy?
Well, with Life Magic with me, I came away a lot positive. I knew a lot more. Going to Abundance, I came away excited, and I still went away excited from Life Magic, but I went away from here a lot more sure of what I want to do and a lot more positive. Scott and I both are on the right track. We've made decisions, and a lot more confident in the outcome.
So you've got an action plan, you know exactly what you're going to do the next 90 days, next forward 90 days, and particularly next week, next month, whatever. And that program was very much about real estate and shares and absolute targeting those areas. And it was chock-a-block with how-tos. Chock-a-block. And we had Kelvin here, Merlin. He's done almost 3 million in the last 18 months on transactions with using about 3,000 bucks. Amazing, amazing man. And Karen with her business, $200,000 business set up, bought for 10,000 bucks. And making $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 in the first few weeks. Amazing. It's good. Give her a clap. First thing, what did you get from this? What was good for you?
I just got, when I was working, I was really in my flow. I had a job I loved, and I made a lot of money, and I enjoyed life enormously. And then I retired, and I had no flow left. I couldn't get back into my flow, and I really feel now that I'm back in it, and I'm really looking forward to the next few years, because I really feel that this last Life Magic has done that for me. And I find that really exciting now, and I really want to get started. And so it was really good for me. It was good that I'm not real good at planning things ahead. I just, tend to just do stuff. And I sort of got a lot bigger handle on how to plan rather than just do. Yeah, so it was really, really good for me.
Your action steps. And you're coming with me. We're going to do, Liz and Matt, for 3 days.
Absolutely, yeah.
A $3,000 program for nothing. It was just amazing.
That was just incredible.
Huge.
Yeah.
They're giving that to us. These guys presented this as how they do website and for $1 and turn them into $10,000. And one guy did a site, just recently, young kid, 20 years old, sold the site after a year and a half, put $1,000 in of his own money, borrowed capital raising $5,000, like big time, setting it all up, and sold it for $40 million here on the coast.
That was
3 weeks
10
ago.
months.
How long?
10 months.
10 months. Could that help? Could that help your parents a bit? And of course, the kids know how to do this. There's the stuff they get in their computers and do amazing things. This is a whole new world.
So anyway, I really recommend Life Magic. It was terrific for me.
Great job. Give her a clap. Someone else, you want to just do a little best thing? What was good for you? Because it was the first time you came to any of our things. What did you get?
I love the dancing.
Yeah.
The dancing was great. Met new friends. Set goals. So every morning it's getting up, reading your goals. Focus more on where we're going, what we want out of life, and getting closer to our $1 million.
Beautiful. How did you feel?
Oh, it was really great.
Good value?
And I've got a very skeptic partner who, as our friends behind will agree with me, who thought this was all bullshit. And
Just to coin a phrase.
Yep. And he's a different person.
Different person. So he got some real value out of that.
Absolutely.
That's great. That's great. Fantastic. Fantastic. Give her a clap. Good job. What I want to know is what the iCan was on, not what date. I've got the date. Well, we know. I want to get the date too, but it doesn't say. So the iCan, I wish I could tell you what it is, but because we do them on the absolute rotation, so we'll find out what it is. But it is on the 29th of August in Varsity on a Monday night. So that's the next one that's on. And just coming back to Life Magic, this is a $5,000 program that is an early bird price of $3,000, and a revisitor who's done abundance. So anyone who's done abundance can get that for $1,500, and we are doing it as a special for $1,000 for the whole 3 days. So it's like next to nothing. That's food and the whole thing. Obviously you've got your own accommodation, but basically it's here. And it's not late at night. It's great value, and I know there's already 35 people already booked on that now. 48. Hello? Thank you. 48 people are booked on that, and this room we go maximum, I think 70 people or something in one of these things. So very, very important. So if you want to get that for $1,000, you take an option on it tonight. It's on the 21st of July, which is Thursday night. It's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It is chock-packed with value, and it gives you walk out with your plan for your real estate, your business, your whatever. And so I strongly recommend, and we got our team here, Alberta, and it's persistence. There you go. Thank you. That's what we need, Alberta. So anyone, well, firstly, there's only two things. There's a lot of value in this. It's only money and stuff. So if you need any help, let us know. Who thinks coming to Life Magic would be a good thing to get you back in action again? Okay. So go and see Patrick or Boys or Alberta and have a talk, and we'll have Life Magic packages there. I want to thank the people who are up on stage. Thank you so much for. Who learned something here from this guy? These two beautiful ladies here. Yeah, give them a big hand. Well done. Give them a big hand. I just want to finish with two quick little silly things. And these are just concepts. If you've been to dinner and you want to go to dinner and he wants to get Italian and you want Thai, you know how you can have that argument? What do? He definitely wants Thai, and you definitely want Italian. Get Italian. No, but I want Thai. Like, I really want Thai. You know what I mean? Like, both. Because you say, go and have Mexican. That's called compromise, or one gives up one thing. But you're right. You can have agreement, and you can get takeaway from both and go and eat at home. Or you can go to a park, or you can do something. So coming up with communications that actually honour each other without compromise. That's a great skill. Another thing on communication is to have 5 strategies whenever you go into a communication. And what we really want to use this communication skill here was not just for families, which is very, very important, and with loved ones, it's also about in real estate and in business and various things you're going to do. So always remember the 6 human needs. Does anyone remember what they are? Certainty, variety, love and connection, and the opposite is significance, growth and contribution. All of the 6 human needs are wired for it. So it goes with certainty firstly, then its paradox is variety, the opposite. Then we go underneath that significance. Across from that is love and connection. And underneath that 2 primary is contribution and growth, both of which are important. Is this for the tonight? For the two different nights? Can we get a couple each for each one of those and give them all so we can just pass them out? In fact, if we can get one and just pass one of the things, that'll be good. So all humans are wired with these 6 human needs, and if you're in communication and it's not working, you'll notice when I work with this young man, I work with those 6 human needs. I gave him significance, I gave him love and connection, I gave him contribution, gave him growth, and I gave him certainty for the outcome and also some variety. If you can put that into the conversation, you're covering all of the 6 human needs. Yeah, just hand them out, that'd be great. And if you could give this to some people, that would be fantastic. Thank you. If you could hand those out, that'd be great. That's good. One each, that'd be great. Last one. In communication, just last thing, intention is everything. Intention and attention. You can write those down, intention and attention. What's your intention for the communication? What's your attention? Now, with this young man, my intention was to get his room clean and to be consistent and to be up on time. That became a second intention. And I had attention to that. You happy? Breakthrough. Good. I'll be interested to hear the report back. Email me. Good. Let's take one, pass it on. All right. Let's get some best things. Who's had some fun? Who's learned something? Who's a good communicator now? Absolutely. Who's a good communicator now? Who's a good communicator? Who's a good communicator? Well done. Let's get some best things. What's the best things? Yes. Being respectful for others. And if you want respect, give respect. Did I give that young boy lots of respect? Did I give the girls respect? The more respect you give, whatever you give in a communication, the more you get back, always. Eye contact, yes. Was that important? And not giving it. What happens to that? And if you want to get off the eye contact to where the problem is, over here. Very good. Yeah. Very good. What else? Yes, sir. The sandwich. Love, deal with the stuff, finish with the love. Take your time with love. Make sure you're always talking from your heart of hearts and the truth. And then you can deal with the stuff because it gives you permission to be in their moccasins, to be in their world. And permission means you can deal with the stuff. And particularly if you link the stuff with something they're already good at, as opposed to you're not good at something, which is just going to duplicate that behavior again and again and again. Attachment, control, good opinion of others. Hairdryers are the major source of all this. Very good. Anything else? You guys are very, very smart. Okay. Honor those who aren't present. Yes, that's a good value, isn't it? Please stand up, everyone. Thank you so much for tonight. It's such a great thing. And thank you for those people in the audience. My best thing was to watch who's on first, what's on second, I don't know who's on third. But my real best thing is you guys, and my best thing is you beautiful young women, you young man, to share this with us and to take the courage of coming up, because it's great learning for everyone from your contribution. So, communication. Oh, yes. Everybody a hug.